6 minutes, and then the show starts. What do you do normally in the last 6 minutes before it starts?
I just try to relax a little bit.
How do you do that?
Just kind of walking around in the backstage, walk a little bit. And normally it's kind of in the dark because, that's where you always have kind of a dark color before the door opens. So it's wandering around in the dark.
So you enjoy not seeing anything? And are you like a motor racer and looking at the racing track you have to do, like listening to the music?
Just try to clean, kind of clear the mind and try to get into the mood. But I don't think too much, I don't think like what I'm going to do. It's more like to calm down and to think not so much things.
So do your muscles know what to do by themselves?
It should be. I mean, after such a long time of practicing, normally it works.
So you have to pray, perhaps. No, but it always works with you. I once had an affair with a musician, and she was a harp player, and she always played at night as well. I was lying there, and she was playing. It's a free massage. Are you doing that as well when you're asleep? Are you playing?
No, I don't.
You just don't know because you sleep.
In my dream, yes, but I sometimes. But in my dream, I'm practicing sometimes. But I try to not think too much because otherwise, it will be, too much.
Work has to be before the performance.
Yeah.
Now you get the Echo Classic for Mozart, and not just any Mozart, but Mozart with Nikolaus Harnoncourt. No, that's what you just recorded. And Nikolaus Harnoncourt is the Mozart god, probably. How was it to work together with him?
I need to say, I want to thank him, for his inspiration and his incredible knowledge, to bring my Mozart level to another level. But it's also, takes time. I met him many years ago, and then we started working on the Mozart concerto in 2012. 2 years before the recording. So I had 2 years to digest.
It's quite some time. But in the end, after digesting everything, what is there you found out new about Mozart? What didn't you know before? And after you recorded it, said, of course, this is the key.
The authentic feelings of Mozart. I mean, people always felt that Mozart is very difficult. I mean, of course, we understand that. We know it is difficult. But how to solve the difficulties? And Maestro Harnoncourt just told me in the most natural, sentences. And he said incredible truth to the piece. Like, for example, if you have the harmony going down, da, 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 da. He said that's Mozart is weeping his eyes. Or you hear some kind of a boom, boom, boom. And he said that's Mozart birds, favorite birds singing. And then sometimes you hear like da 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 da. He said that's very simple. It's a country music, and that, and so therefore. He made it so clear, on all the characters.
Normally, the difficult thing about Mozart is that it is so easy, isn't it? It's not many notes compared to Liszt, for example. Is it much more difficult to play less notes because you have to fill the gaps at Mozart's scores?
It's not I would say it's different type of difficulties. It's not because Mozart is more difficult or because at least it's just a totally different interpretation, just different attitude, and they both, can be difficult in certain ways. But when you realize it, how to solve the problems, then it's become impossible.
In the beginning of your career, lots of people said, oh, well, he is a good playing pianist, but then came this myth with China and you had to learn and to learn, but it lacks humanity. Now you're much older. Do you think that you gained humanity in playing as well by experience more life?
Obviously. I mean, and absolutely. It's because the things I'm experiencing is always through the concerts, through the musical journey, and working with the greatest musicians. So of course they are teaching me a lot of incredible experiences. So that's why I'm gaining. But if I'm just sitting at home practicing by myself, I don't think that I will improve. After 10 years.
Of course, then you can just learn from yourself, but perhaps you learn as well if you go out in life, if you dance, if you fall in love, if you are sad because you are not loved. Are all these human things we experience as human beings as important as working with musicians? To do music?
Yeah, it's truly that also very important. But the thing is that when I was 9, I'm already facing the most difficult issues in my life. And and I don't think that you need to be, feeling so difficult to get better. Maybe as a composer, sometimes, those life gives you some kind of inspiration, to write really deep stuff. But as a performer, you learn a lot of things just from your normal life and also your imagination about what's going to happen. So the truth is, of course, we need to learn from life to be better musician. But other way around also works. You also learn things from the music to improve your life.
That's my last question. What is the most important thing you learned in life, in music, which you use in life?
I mean, the structure of each pieces are, whether it's short piece, whether it's a long piece, whether it's a kind of simple piece or it's a difficult piece, it's all reflect on our life, and it reflects on our mood, on our climates of emotions, and on the turnovers. So it's certainly that you can learn a lot of things of the logical structure of the piece, and which you always need to see through the note to get a sense of what's going to happen next. And that is, I take that in the real life, that the more you grow, you know better what's your planning for tomorrow.
So the ideal life is music.
I mean, music is life. Life is music. Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.